Welcome to AyeyeOnTV. This program is all about celebration. AyeyeOnTV is your complete social diary program that brings you the best of weddings, housewarming, birthdays, corporate events. Anywhere there is celebration, can be sure that AyeyeOnTV will be there. Today on AyeyeOnTV is a full package, and we're going to be starting with a wedding ceremony between two prominent families from Lagos and Edo states. Then we'll go to a training conference by a leading firm in Lagos who are trying to prepare young professionals for international job opportunities abroad. I'm sure you don't want to miss that. And then we have a special tips corner where you'll be learning on how to select the right perfume, for that special event. I'm sure you're going to learn more about that. And finally, in the program today, you'll be watching the funeral rites held in honor of late Pa Nelson Odutola Awosile in Lagos recently. All this and more on the program today. Stay tuned.
Indeed, love is a beautiful thing, and this aptly captured the mood when two prominent families from Lagos and Edo states came together to celebrate the matrimony between their children, Omogbolahan and Sylvia. The two lovebirds, Omogbolahan from Ikorodu, Lagos State, and Sylvia from Ishan in Edo State, defied every restraint of cultural biases to cement their love story with the support of their parents and family members. The 3-in-1 event started with the traditional engagement ceremony at Whitestone Event Place. The venue had all the trappings of royalty and exquisite decorations, which accentuated the colorful ambience. Family members, friends, and well-wishers turned out in their numbers to felicitate with the couple and their parents. The traditional engagement ceremony kicked off with the majestic arrival of the bride's parents, as they danced in, supported by family and friends. The bride's parents exuded joy as they reveled in the special feeling of sending off their lovely daughter to a new home. Thereafter, the groom's parents followed suit. They were ushered in amidst dancing, surrounded by family members who shared in their joy. The groom's parents and those who accompanied them did not disappoint in any way, as they danced gracefully to meet their new in-laws, after which they took their seats inside the beautifully decorated hall. With the two families seated, traditional marriage rites commenced with prayer, after which the groom's family presented a fanciful marriage proposal letter to formally request for the hands of Sylvia in marriage. The proposal letter was handed over to the bride's mother, who gladly collected it before handing it over to her husband, to the admiration of other family members and guests present. The bride's family reciprocated with their acceptance letter, indicating their approval for the traditional rites to continue. With that aspect done with, it was the signal needed to herald the arrival of the groom and the retinue of friends. Handsomely dressed like an Asian prince, the groom, Omogbolahan, was every inch a happy man as he danced to meet and greet with his parents before making his way to meet his parents-in-law. As expected, he went through the customary rite of greeting his parents-in-law by prostrating before them and assisted by his friends before prayers were pronounced on him by his in-laws. After Omogbolahan had taken his seat, all eyes and attention shifted to the beautiful bride, Sylvia, who was ushered into the hall by a group of Edo cultural dancers. She was the cynosure of all eyes as she danced to some cultural tunes by the group. After the cultural display, Sylvia was led to meet with her family members, and an elder in her father's family invited the groom, Omogbolahan, to take the couple through an important Asian marriage rite.
I didn't see you helping her. That's it. All right. I got yours.
He ended that aspect of the traditional marriage rites with prayer for both Omogbolahan and Sylvia.
Crown him your lover, crown him your prayer partner, crown him the father of your children.
Thereafter, Sylvia also performed the rite of placing a cap on Omogbolahan's head as her first duty to him as his wife.
You will not die. You will live long together, as many children as you desire.
The couple sealed this with a kiss. After this bait, Sylvia was asked to pick from the array of gifts her husband's family brought as mandated by culture. Expectedly without any disappointment, she settled for the Holy Bible. Royal blessings were showered on the couple by some of the traditional rulers present at this ceremony, including the Omogbolahan of Ikorodu, His Royal Highness Oba Kabiru Adewale Shotobi, and Olu of Itori, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulfatai Akorede Akamo, among others. To get the second leg of the celebration underway, which was solemnization and exchange of rings by the couple coordinated by a team of clergymen, the Oluwaye of Fuji Music, K1 the Ultimate, hit the stage to entertain guests while the couple and few friends attended the private solemnization service. The brief ceremony saw the couple exchange rings after the pastors had prayed and blessed their union.
It is the seal of your marriage. You will wear it forever in the mighty name of Jesus.
Thereafter, the couple returned to the hall for the reception and final leg of the marriage ceremony. They had their first dance together as a couple. Before the cutting of the magnificent wedding cake, which was supervised by His Royal Highness Oba Kabiru Adewale Shotobi, the Omogbolahan of Ikorodu, supported by other royal fathers, dignitaries, and parents of the couple. The cutting of the cake signaled the end of formal proceedings as K1 the Ultimate brought guests and couple to their feet, dishing out its tunes back to back to the admiration of all.
Nítorí èlò mi o.
We wish Omogbolahan and Sylvia Akinlana a blissful married life. One of Nigeria's leading training firms, which started its operations in London years back, Almond Careers Limited, recently gathered top flight professionals at a training conference in Lagos. With the aim of impacting fresh knowledge and expose participants to international employment opportunities, the conference also enabled those in attendance to network and share new ideas and trends in their various fields of expertise. Almond Careers Limited is a role-based training company which provides services including helping clients build global capacity in project management and business analysis, agile project management implementation, product management, and software testing. The company's niche is in the area of helping their trainees with hands-on practical work experience, which actually stands as reference when seeking for job roles locally and internationally. Welcoming participants to the conference, the founder of Almond Careers Limited, Henry Ifeanyi Mbadiwe, went down memory, sharing his personal experience and how he got into project management as a career.
I was watching TV one night, alright, and then my wife said, look, there's this guy in our church who got a job. Why don't you talk to him? He got a junior project manager role. Talk to him and find out what he did. So I went to the guy, I said, Tayo, how are you doing? I heard he got a job. He said, yes. How can I? Said, you have to train yourself, Henry, blah, blah, blah. I said, but I don't have money. I was broke. Paying the bill was a problem. House rent was a problem. We were 3 months behind on our bill, and they had given us a quick notice that you have to leave. So I was thinking, how can I pay 300 pounds? So the guy said to me, I'll pay for you. I said, really? He said, yes. He gave me 150 pounds. You see, when I tell you to recommend people, I'm not just saying it because I want Almond to have a lot of people in our classes. No. I'm saying it because when I look at each and every one of you, I don't see numbers. I see lives, individual lives that has the opportunity to be far better than it is today. This guy recommended me and said, I'll pay 150 pounds for you first, go and start. So he paid 150 pounds for me and I went and I started. I was sitting there, I was listening to things I'd never heard before, and wow, and just going into my head. And then when it was time to pay the second one, he gave me another 150 pounds. He said, go and pay the balance. As I was going to the training center with that 150 pounds, I thought to myself, there's no food in my house. If I pay this 150 now, what does it benefit a man to gain knowledge and is hungry? So I removed 50 pounds and I went to buy food and put in my house. And then I gave the guy 100 pounds balance. And then after a while, the guy came to me and said, Henry, you have to pay your balance. I said, I don't have money anymore. I said, please, they're about to kick me out of my house. This guy said, if you can't pay, you have to go. I said, I begged. I wrote the guy a letter. I explained. He said, just go. And then I left. And then I went back home with the little I've learned. I put it on my CV. I started applying. As I was applying and applying and applying, I got a call from this recruiter. After many calls though. He said, Henry, tell me about what you've done in this company. I was just talking. By the time I finished, he said, there's nothing you've said that has convinced me that you can do this. But there's something about you. I just want to give you that opportunity.
Speaking further at the conference, which had the theme, Exploring Local and Migration Working Opportunities through practical work experience as a project manager and a business analyst. The founder of Almond Careers Limited, Henry Mbadiwe, also explained how his love for helping people to become better in their life pursuits metamorphosed into the establishment of the training firm.
After 6 months of working my entire life, I said I'm going to start up Almond Careers, so that the little I know, I'll teach some people in my church who don't know, so that they too can do better. That was all. And I just said to someone, I went to a Christmas party, I said, no, I'm starting up a training, project management, I can teach you, blah, 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 help you get a job. And they said, okay, I'll come. How much was I charging? £250 per person. And in my first class, January 13th, I had 6 people in the session. A week before then, I spent all week, I built my first website myself. If you see it, it's horrible. And then I put together the slides myself. If you see it, horrible. All you are getting now is Lamborghini. What I started with, and people were getting jobs though, and I was even shocked. When the person came to me and said, Henry, I just got a job, I'm like, eh? From the thing I told you. He said, yes. I'm like, oh, did you get any? He said, no, I just followed. I said, ah.
Speakers at the conference were experts from different fields covering areas like project management, business development, law, and immigration services. Leading other speakers at the conference, Almond Career Limited's head of projects and operations, Nkechi Bade, outlined the critical role of a project manager in an organization, emphasizing that the opportunities opened to such professionals are limitless.
There's someone within these organizations that come in and they say, okay, let's look at customer needs. What do the people that patronize our business, what do they look out for? They run something we call a gap analysis, right? Where they come look at the current situation and then they look at, okay, where are we meant to be at this point? And then they look for ways to improve that process. Those guys are called business analysts. So that when it's an existing situation, right, an existing corporation, they look within. Once a need is identified, then a solution is preferred, right? It's now the project manager that comes in to implement, to bring to life, basically, whatever solution has been preferred by the business analyst, which is why BAs and PMs work hand in hand, literally in every organization.
Another speaker at the conference, a top management staff and Chief Compliance Officer at Almond Career Limited, Edidiong Akan, spoke on attributes professionals seeking to pursue a career in project management and business analysis must possess, emphasizing the need for confidence and honesty when they present themselves for job opportunities. Among other speakers, a senior immigration legal consultant and advisor, Cyprian Angba, who provides immigration services in London, spoke extensively on some bottlenecks Nigerian professionals seeking to migrate to the UK and other parts of the world encounter, while at the same time outlining the reliable steps they can take.
The best way to get to the UK right now, is a student visa. So a student visa to me is easy, but you need to work for it. You need to write all the personal statement, you need to call, don't call me to call a school for you. Call the school yourself, deal with the schools. That's the work that is involved in doing that. But it's fine. So you come into the UK on a student's visa. What next? What's next? You must complete your studies. I think this is one mistake people make. If you are thinking that that's just a process for getting a visa and coming to the UK, oh, you're wasting your time. What Theresa May has done when she was the Prime Minister was to clamp down on anyone that disappears. So if you get a student's visa and you get to the airport, they will track you from the airport to your school. In fact, these days schools are outside the airport with a box. waiting to take the number of students. So they start marking all the people they gave a cash to. If you're missing and you're not on that bus, that same day they will report you. That same day your visa is revoked and cancelled. If you come to London, let me tell you what, you find a lot of Nigerians in London. You will know it's a student that didn't go to school. So he's walking and he's looking backwards and he's checking. He's on the train, he's not sure. And I warn you right now, London is so hot that if you don't have the right visa, you're gone. Even on a train, you tap in your oyster. Let the oyster is the card you use to get it through a train barrier. Let's assume there's a mistake on that oyster, and for some reason a bell rings. Oh, everybody, they'll gather around you. They'll forget that it was oyster that you were after. Sorry, what's your identity? Sorry, what's your, and then your accent already kills you. So unless you start practicing a British accent before you get into London, your accent will already send alarm bells that you came from Lagos yesterday. So can we check his status? Can we check this? You'll be shocked how 8 policemen will gather you in under 1 minute. And the next thing you know, they already have vans waiting in different places to take you away. So you're supposed to be conscious. Come in on a student visa. Go to school. Make sure you do everything you're supposed to do, because the sky is your limit after that.
With the speakers giving good accounts of themselves, participants at the conference also had the opportunity to ask questions on different gray areas, to which a panel of speakers and other experts present provided clear and relative answers to the satisfaction of all present.
Today I'll be sharing tips about the right perfume for yourself in that special occasion. Let's get it clear. You cannot love every perfume. So, the starting point is for you to know the kind of scent that you love. Is your preference floral, oriental, woody, or fresh? Once you have settled the type of scent you love, then you must consider your personality. The type of perfume you wear says a lot about your personality. Consider your end game. Do you want to project a casual, loud, romantic, or adventurous personality? Another factor to consider is the type of event or occasion you are attending. You cannot wear a strong, choky perfume in a closed environment like an office you share with other people, whereas the same type of perfume can be very appropriate for an open-air party environment. You must also consider your skin as well. Heavily fragrance perfumes may not work for you, especially if you have a very sensitive skin, because your skin can easily get irritated. You must research to know what works well for your skin. The good news here is that you can get perfumes that fit your pocket size. Nothing beats good scent. Till I come your way again with more tips.
The homegoing ceremony of late Pa Nelson Odutola Awosile was grand and colorful, the kind fit for a man well loved by his family and those who associated with him while alive. Born into a Muslim family on September 23, 1943, in the rusty town of Iperuremo, Ogun State, he attended his primary and secondary schools in Iperuremo before his adventurous spirit led him to Lagos in the mid-60s. On arrival in Lagos, he got employment with a foreign firm where he worked as a clerk and typist. While on the job, he studied for some foreign courses via correspondence before moving to the Daily Times of Nigeria in 1968. Way back then, Daily Times of Nigeria was the biggest publishing house with the highest number of publications, and it was a thing of glamour to work in the organization. Due to his hard work, intelligence, and boundless energy, Pa Nelson had a fast rise in the Daily Times establishment, which eventually culminated in his promotion as personal secretary to the managing director of Daily Times at that time, the famous Alhaji Babatunde Jose. Pa Nelson Awosile, who had converted to Christianity after his arrival in Lagos, was also part of members of staff sent to the Daily Times London office on secondment in the early 70s. He served in the Daily Times London office for 5 years before he returned to Nigeria. He was with the Daily Times of Nigeria until 1989, when he voluntarily retired to pursue other business interests. Aside being very active in his service to God, as an elder in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pa Nelson Awosile was a disciplinarian, an advocate of truth, who embraced forthrightness and always stood on the side of openness. The first leg of the final burial rites for Pa Awosile started with a Christian wake-keep and service of songs at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Lagos Province 18, Akowonjo, Lagos. In attendance were Pa Awosile's widow and children, family members, neighbors, and other sympathizers. It was a solemn gathering as the choir led in hymns before the deceased children took their turns for the Bible readings.
There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon.
Testimonies about Pa Awosile's life and impacts were taken in the course of the service, as those who spoke, including his first daughter and third son, praised Pa Awosile's doggedness, forthrightness, discipline, and kind-heartedness.
He's an embodiment of truth. He's been feared amongst men because of his straightforwardness, his straight to a fault. I can tell you, and you can go to the bank with that he was an honest man, straight in everything he does, and he doesn't like anybody that plays hanky-panky around him.
Angeli yeo, jeko momi dagba, jeko momi dagba, ko wa ṣiṣẹ́ f'Olúwa. For many who don't know, Baba had 5 children that died before we came to be. And every time he sings that song to us, mentioning our names, telling us, Ife, you will grow, Bola, you will grow, and you will work for the Lord. And as I speak, every one of us works for the Lord. His word came to pass in our life.
In terms of education, we are all products of his selflessness. There was a year I was trying to gain admission to FUTA, and I wrote JAM. I couldn't meet up the cutoff. I think I had like 5-6 points to meet up with the cutoff. But that just made sure we were traveling to Akure. We traveled like 9 different times. We left Lagos in the morning like 5:30 a.m. and by 8 p.m. we would have been back at home, myself and Daddy, for 9 different times. At the end of the day, I wasn't given the admission because he was asked to come and bribe, and my dad told them, if it is because of this, I'm not going to bribe.
In a brief sermon during the service of songs ceremony, the pastor eulogized the good deeds of Pa Nelson Awosile while on earth and reminded those in attendance that death was an inevitable end for every human, urging everyone present to be mindful of the afterlife. The final leg of Pa Awosile's funeral rites began with a brief lying-in state ceremony at his residence to afford neighbors and members of the community bid him farewell. Thereafter, family members and sympathizers moved to the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Lagos Province 18 Provisional Headquarters, Akowonjo, for the funeral service. The highlights of the funeral service, attended by dignitaries from all walks of life, included praise sessions, hymns, Bible reading, and a special hymn rendition by the children of the deceased alongside their spouses and children.
This gift of love and righteousness, sworn by the ones we came to save, still on the cross, as Jesus died, the wrath of God was satisfied for every sin. On Him was laid, here in the death of Christ I live.
Every human being came to this world crying.
In his sermon, the officiating pastor encouraged the family of the deceased to imbibe all the good traits of the patriarch and prayed that God will uphold him to continue with the legacy of their late father. After the sermon, the congregation paid last respects to the deceased before the vote of thanks by the son-in-law. As soon as the church service ended, close family members and the clergy moved to the graveside in a private cemetery for the final dust-to-dust rites. The entertainment of guests was at Grand Ovation Hall, Gowon Estate, Lagos.
Dúpsì ṣàmàdá gọ̀jọ̀gọ̀jọ̀. Dúpẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ó mọ̀ rè ó tẹ́lẹ̀ ó mọ̀. Níbo? Alẹ́ mi mímọ́ ẹ ṣé o ẹ̀mí àwọn wò. Ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ẹ ṣé o ẹ̀mí àwọn wòlíì. Ẹ̀yin ló ń gbogbo bọ́ọ̀lù wa ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ẹ̀ ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ̀dọ́ mi owó lọ rí.
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of what we brought to you today. If you did, please join us again on the same station, same time next week. And if you want us to cover any of your events, please call the numbers on your screen and make sure you follow all our social media handles. I'll see you soon. Keep celebrating. Bye-bye.